Hi, I'm Adele Michael, and I'm here to talk to you about step 5 of how to create a compelling and clear message for your business. And step 5 is, who are you talking to? Who is your ideal client? So when you start out in your business, it may be sort of general, like a life coach who says she works with people in transition. And then as you do more of your work and you realize who you attract and who resonates with what you do and who you enjoy working with, then you get more narrow in your specifications of who you work with. Like, I work with, a life coach may say, I work with women between 30 and 40 who want to create a meaningful relationship in their life. They want to stop the speed dating, and they want to have a meaningful relationship. So that gets more and more specific, and that's a good thing. You can get too specific, but there's a sweet spot with specificity. And as I've said before, it doesn't mean you can't work with other people, but that's who you are talking to when you're talking about your business. So that's the first thing, is who are you attracting and who do you like working with? The second thing is to look for themes. You can talk about demographics, which is gender, age, race, ethnicity, where people are from. So I know some coaches who were originally Russian, and they work with a lot of Russian people because they speak the same language and they have a lot in common from their culture. So maybe a nationality is part of your ideal client descriptor. And maybe it's an age range. Like, I work with women between 35 and 65 who have their own business, have a service-based business, and who want to learn to market and sell authentically so they have more clients and make more money and make a bigger impact. So that's one way to do it. The other is sociographic. It could be people in transition, or someone who's being downsized from a corporate job and needs to figure out what they're going to do next if they don't want to go back into corporate work. It could be a mom with small children who needs to learn how to take time for herself, or have quick recipes, or figure out how to have group education for her homeschooled children. Those are all aspects of life that maybe you address because maybe you have that experience, or you have that desire to help those people. And then there are the more, I would call them more thematic. They're more general themes. So in my case, I used to work with athletes and did mental peak performance. I worked with all sorts of people, but that was one of the groups that I worked with and really enjoyed. And I realized that I wanted to work with business people because I know that world so much better than I know the athletics world. And I was, it's a better fit in terms of how people perceived me. And so I looked at the characteristics of the athletes I worked with, and they were driven to excellence. They wanted to play their best game, do their best, and really continue to improve how they did their sport. And so I realized I could map that over, I could transfer that to my ideal client descriptor to say, I work with business women who are driven to excellence in their business. Doesn't mean they're driven and they never take time off, but they are always wanting to improve, to get better, to have a better business, a business that serves them and serves others. And then I realized there are 3 words that are really great to put into your descriptor. And here's why. If they're not there, it's going to be so much harder to make a sale. So I'll tell you the words. The first word is ready. Are they ready? Do they know when they have a problem? Do they have something they want to accomplish? Are they fed up with where they are? Like the woman who does relationship coaching. Is her ideal client just sick of having a lot of dates and a lot of first dates and no second dates. So are they ready? Do they know, or can they admit when you're talking to them, yes, this is something that is a problem and something I want to solve now? It's very important. Okay, are they willing? That's the second word, willing. Are they willing to take this on? If you've worked with people very long, you know that some people just are not willing to make the change. And it's painful to watch sometimes, and it's painful to try to influence them if they're not going to choose it. So willing is the second word. So the ideal client in my book would be, yes, I know this is an issue. Yes, I want some help. And yes, I'm willing to do the work and pay the money that it's going to take for me to work with you. And the third word is able. Are they able? And this includes, do they have the financial resources to invest in working with you? And if they don't, are there other resources that you could offer them? Do you have free reports on your website? Do you have, like I have a free workshop that every month called Abundance with Ideal that anyone, well, I really invite women, but anyone could come to who was looking for business advice and sales advice for their small business, and also energy work, because I always throw that in because it's so important. So are they ready, willing, and able? So as I've said before, if your heart is to serve women, for instance, who are getting out of abusive relationships, they are probably not going to have the financial resources to pay your full fee. So do you do pro bono work? Do you offer a class at the women's shelter? Do you offer free reports, as I said before? Or do you offer something through a church? Or do you have a day a week, a day a month that you do pro bono coaching? I know a lot of professionals do that because they want to serve, and they also know they have to have a sustainable business. So is your ideal client ready, willing, and able? Those are three words that I think you could put on your ideal client descriptor to good effect. So that's what I wanted to tell you today. That's step 5. Who's your ideal client? And if you would, this week, think about who you like working with, who really benefits from your work, and do your ideal client descriptor list. It could be the demographics, which are the statistics about them, their age, their gender, where they live, their ethnicity. It could be psychographics. They're a woman in her 50s who's becoming an empty nester and wants to figure out what's next in her life. That would be a psychographic. And then thematic. Are they ready, willing, and able? And whatever other themes you see that are in common, that your ideal clients have in common. So that's it for today. And I want to remind you that if you don't already know about my Choosing Abundance event that I'm doing in Durham in October, it's coming up, and actually the discount for is $300 off. The tuition is expiring on Sunday, September 15th. And if this is something that you would like to look at, please go to choosingabundanceevent.com. We're going to talk about all 7 steps that I'm going through in this video series, including who's your ideal client. And one of the great things about the event, it's a 2-day authentic marketing retreat. And one of the great things about it is there'll be other businesswomen in the room that will help give you immediate feedback of, oh, that sounds really great, and have you thought about this? Or have you thought about that? There's just so much power and resources in a group situation that's why I'm so excited to bring this to you in a live group event. So choosingabundanceevent.com, you can go over there, and if it's something that you would like to talk with me about, there's a way to schedule a complimentary session. And if it's something you're ready to register for, please go ahead and do that and grab your $300 tuition discount, and there's other information about Bring a Friend rebate. So that's it for this week, and I'll talk to you soon.